Hi readers, Lee here, Lila Wanders and Reads, and today I'm here for something a little bit different. It is a book talk, but the other day, Floss over at the Grape Jelly Library hit me up and asked me if I would do a video on how many books I read in a month, week, year, what's my method in reading so many, something like that, and how many books I think I have. So, here we go. I don't really have a set number of books that I read in a year. Last year, in 2023, I did have a goal to read 200 books. That was just to see if I could. I achieved that goal. I actually surpassed it. I read 234 last year. And this year, I was determined not to set an actual goal. I have one on Goodreads. It started out as 50 books. I hit that, and I moved it to 100. I hit that, I moved it to 150. I'm just taking it in doable chunks, and I'm not really trying to read a certain amount because it's really about quality and not quantity. I wanted this to be a no-pressure year where I read what I wanted and how many came organically to me. But typically, on the fiction side, I read about 3 to 4 books a week. So I don't know how many that ends up, usually between 10 to 16 in a month. Just depends on the book, the length of the book, etc. This month, July, has been a little bit different because I chose to read Island in the Sea of Time. This is 608 pages, and usually between 300 to 400 pages is my sweet spot, maybe a little more than 400 pages, and I can knock those out in an evening and a half. This one took me 6 evenings, so that was a long time to read for me, and I enjoyed the book. It was a reread, but what made it so long was that it was so descriptive, and to the point where they spent a page and a half talking about a single gun, and Martha, one of the characters, was like, must be a guy thing, and I thought, same. Anywho, so what's my method to my madness? I've always got 2 books going. Right now, on the fiction side, which is all I read in the evenings, I'm reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is just around between 300-400 pages. So it's the weekend. I don't really read as much on the weekends when I'm recording this. But I should be able to finish this by Sunday. Again, 2 days, 2 evenings. I only read fiction in the evening, usually after work, after dinner, but I also don't watch any TV on the weeknights. I get most of my reading done on weeknights. On Friday nights, I don't typically get deep into a book. That's when I watch TV because my brain is fried and I need to kind of do a reset. The other book that I always have going is what I call a purse book. That is a book I carry with me wherever I go. I might read a few pages on my lunch break. If I'm out in town and go out to eat, I'll read some pages there. It takes me a lot longer to finish that book. That book is always nonfiction. My current purse book is The Storm of War by Andrew Roberts. I am not even at the halfway mark on that. However, I have set a daily page limit, so sometimes I'll pick this up in the evening to make sure I got my 23 pages because I want to finish this by the end of July and go on to my next page book, which is Forgotten, The Untold Story of D-Day's Black Heroes at Home and at War. Less often, I have an audiobook going. And usually it could take me a month or more to finish an audiobook because I only listen to the audiobooks when I'm driving to and from work or to and from town, whatever. Only when I'm driving. When I'm doing chores around the house, I prefer to have music going, and the only time I'll put on an audiobook is if I've got an hour or less and just trying to finish that book up. My current audiobook is D-Day by Stephen E. Ambrose. I do not know how much. I'm on chapter 7 of this. So I've been listening to it, since I think last weekend. So I'm about this much into the book on audiobook. It takes a long time to listen to audiobooks. So always got 2 books going. purse book and an evening fiction book. Most of the time I have some sort of audiobook going, but I do need to cleanse the palate after an audiobook, and I'll listen to a podcast or something like that, or just music. This past week, or since the weekend of the 4th, I made myself a vow to get off Twitter, stop doom scrolling, and stop watching or listening to the news. I'll go online sometimes to check the weather, but that is it. I do not need that fucking stress in my life. So, I'm really trying to get into where I can enjoy my Kindle a little bit better. It is not ever going to be my number one reading source. I love a paper book. But I've started reading this little romance series set in Montana, a Christmas romance series by N.R. Walker. What I'm reading right now is Christmas Wish List. I think the first book in this series, they are very short, like 298 pages or so. The first book took me 2 mornings, just like an hour before work, while I'm drinking coffee, and 1 like half hour in the evening. So they're very quick reads. Really want to train myself to be able to try to enjoy things on the Kindle for when I travel and don't want to take 8,000 books with me. So the Kindle is very new. That will increase my reading for this year. And I hope that answers your question, Floss. I'm not sure there's an actual method to my madness. I just like to read. Sometimes, if it's a really good book, I will forego chores. And I don't watch TV like I used to. I just can't get into it. I've got so many books to read. I can see the books in my head, what happens in the books in my head, so it's better than TV in many ways. Again, Friday nights, sometimes on a Saturday, Sunday night, I'll watch a movie or something, but mostly I prefer to read. Let's see. Okay, so how many books do I think I have? I can give you a real close answer on that. So I've got an app that I purchase. It's like a subscription once per year. I think I pay around $40-50 a year. I pay for the cloud. I also pay for the app on my phone, but it doesn't exceed $50 a year, and it is well worth it. I have logged almost all of my books into here and you can scan them by ISBN code, which is why it pisses me off when used bookstores cover the ISBN code. So I've got most of them scanned in here. I've got in here 3,921 books scanned in. That does not count cookbooks, which aren't scanned in. It doesn't count some textbooks, some religious texts, and it doesn't count, I've got quite a few books that are so old that they don't have an ISBN number, and I've been too lazy to look them up. Lazy may not be the right word, but I just have not taken the time to look them up and add them into my app, and I don't really need to, because what I got the app for was to stop rebuying things that I already had. When I first moved into this house, I'm in a long living room right now. This living room was filled with boxes because I don't have a garage, so everything had to come into the house, couldn't stay out in the weather. I took a week off when I moved in March of 2020, and I spent that week unpacking because I did not want roaches and I didn't want boxes in my house. So I spent the week unpacking, and I just put all the books out of the boxes onto the shelves. Well, months go by, and part of putting up all those boxes really got me motivated to start reading again and start reading what I had before I ended up buying more. But, so I started reading, and then I'd be like, I want to read this book, and I know I have it, and I'd go look for it, but I couldn't find it, because I had just put the books up willy-nilly. So about a year later, after I'd bought the same book like 2 or 3 times, because I couldn't find it, I went through, took all the books off the shelf, and alphabetized them by author last name, as they should be. And so then I was able to find books easily because I knew where they would be. They would be, if it was a book by Kristen Hanna, I could just go to the H's. However, that still didn't stop me from not remembering if I had a book when I was out in the wild. And so then I somehow found the app, and it has been worth every penny. If you have a lot of books, if you need to keep track of them, highly recommend it. I will put the link to collectors.com down in the bio. This is worth, like I said, worth every penny to me. If something ever happens to them, I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I've got so many books. Anywho, yeah. Oh, another thing that helps me read, I said I don't watch TV a lot. I also don't have kids, so I don't have, nothing distracts me. I don't have anything to distract me from doing what I want to do, which is read. Also, right now, peak electricity times for like water and doing laundry is from 3 to 7 p.m. So I'm not going to do any chores between that time on the weeknights. So I might as well read. Anywho, I hope this answered your question, Floss. I thought I had some more things to say, but I guess not. Fiction book, purse book, highly recommend a purse book, audiobook, and now Kindle. So that is all for me. I will see you tomorrow. I think I am going to do a post on time travel books because Victoria from Australia asked me about some recommendations, and I'm going to really have to do a hunt for that. And I'll let you know how it goes. That's it for me. Happy reading!